Hello, welcome back to Simple Coder, and we are back with a video. In this video, we will implement the pagination, or you can say the infinite scrolling in our Flutter application with just few lines of codes. So this is our application. You can see here, we are getting a list of the countries here, and we are just showing the first 20 records. After that, when we go to the bottom of the screen, you can see here, the loader is loading here, and it will load another set of 20 records. You can also see here, the next page call has been gone here. When we go again to the bottom, you can see here that loader is loading here. It will load another set of 20 records in our application. So in this way, we can load the data with the help of the pagination, or you can say the infinite scrolling. So before starting a video, if you are new to our channel, subscribe our channel by clicking the subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified about our latest videos. Thank you. So in this video, we are going to use multiple packages. First one is a provider, and this will be used for our state management for our pagination and all. Next package we are going to use is HTTP, and that will be used for calling the REST API. Then we are using here freeze package, and this package will be used for dealing with that model file and all, so that we can easily create our model file. And also we are going to consume this API. This is the API which we are going to use in our application. You can see here we are getting here message as a success. Then we are getting here total records 243. Then we are getting here data, and here we are just passing here page number. Then we are passing here page size, and on the basis of that we get the data here. So now let's move to our Flutter application, and from there we will just import the packages. So this is our application, and here we have pub specs, and here we will just add the packages here. We will add here provider and HTTP package. Here in the dependencies, we will add the packages here. Then we have the def dependencies, and here we will add these packages. First one is a build runner, and this will be used for generating the file for the freeze. Then we have the freeze package here. Then we have the JSON annotation, and then we have a JSON serializable for creating the class file and all. So now we will create one folder here, and the name of the folder will be model. Inside that we will create one file here, and we will name the file as a country-model.file. Here first of all we have to write here freeze as a annotation. Then we will create here abstract class country model with underscore $ country model. Here we will create factory country model, and we will pass two variables here. First one will be the int type of total records. Then we have list type of dynamic. We will make it as a null level here, data equal to underscore country model. Here we will write factory country model dot from JSON map string dynamic JSON underscore $ country model from JSON, and we will pass here JSON. Here we will import our freeze package. After that we have to write here part country model dot freeze dot dart. Same we have to do for generating file also .g, and this will really do for the JSON serializable and all. So from now here we will run the command here, and here we will write this command flutter pub run build underscore runner build. Then we have hyphen delete hyphen conflicting hyphen outputs. So if there will be any conflicting output files, it will delete it. Now from here we will press the enter here. So here we have to remove this freeze, and now we will regenerate the file here. You can see here two files are generated. One is for the freeze, then this is for the JSON serializable generator. So now our model file is ready. So now we will move further, and we will create our API service. For that we have to create one new folder here, and we will name it as a services. Under it we will create a new file, and we will name it as a API underscore service.dart file. And here we will create the class file here, class API service. And before that we have to import here, import package http.dart as http. Here we will create one variable static where client is equal to http.client. Then we will create one function here static, and this function will be used for generating the data from our REST API, and we will show in our Flutter application, and we will make it as static, and return type will be future. and here we will write country model, and we will make it as a nullable here, and we will name it as a get countries. Here we will pass one variable that is page number, and we will make it as a async here. Then here we will get the request headers. We will write here map string comma string request headers, and we will pass here content type application slash JSON. Then we will create a query string because we have to pass two variables. First one is a page number, the second one is a page size, and we will copy this one and we will paste here. We will name it as a query string. Here we will write page, and we will pass this variable page number. Then second variable will be page size, and we will write here 20, and we will make the page size as a 20 here. That means it will load 20 record per request. Then here we will make a variable for URL is equal to URI.http, and here we will pass the URL, and we are using here 127.0.0.1:4000. Then we have the endpoints here. We have /API/countries. Here we will pass query string here. We can also print this URL, and here we will create one variable where response is equal to await client.getRequest. We will pass here URL. Then we will pass here headers, and we will pass here request headers. Then here we will check if response.status code is equal to 200. That means we are getting the data from the server. Then we will write one variable here where data is equal to JSON decode response.body, and from here we will return. We have to return here country model, and we will write here return country model from JSON, and we have to pass this in JSON here. It will convert the data into the proper object. In the else condition, we will return here null. So what we are doing here, we have created one function that is get countries, and we are passing here page number as a variable. Then we have the request headers here, and we are passing a content type as a application JSON. Then we have that query string here, and we are passing a page number. Then we have the page size here. After that, we are creating one variable for URL, and there we are creating here URI.http, and we are doing here HTTP call. If our URL is in HTTPS, we have to use here .https like this one. But our URL is in HTTP, that's why we are using here, and we are passing here URL with that port number because the API is running on this port number. And then we have the endpoints, which is /API/countries. Then we have the query string here. Then we have created one variable response is equal to await client.getRequest, and we are passing a URL, and we are passing here request header. Then we are checking here if the status code is 200. That means the request is successfully called. We are getting the data here. We are just doing the JSON decode here with the data response.body. Then we are returning a country model dot from JSON, and we are passing a data here, and in the else condition we are passing a return null. So now let's move further, and we will create our provider file. So now we will create our provider file, and for that we have to go to our folder structure, and there we will create a new folder, and we will name it as a provider. Inside that we will create a new file that is country_pagination_provider.file. And here first of all we will write one enum here. We will write here enum load more status, and we will have three type of enums. First one is initial, loading, stable. So initial mean when we launching our application or data, that will be in initial stage, and when we start doing any API calling and all, then we will make the status as a loading here. Once we get the data, we will make it as a stable here. After that we will create here class country pagination provider with change notifier. Now here we will create the model for country model. We will write here late because we are using a null safety feature and all. Country model, we will make it as nullable underscore country model. Then we have country model get country model, and we will assign with this country model private variable. Then here we will write late list type of dynamic country list. Then we will make the public variable dynamic, and here we will put the underscore because we have to make this variable as a private variable, and here we will write country list underscore country list. We will write here get. Then we have our load mode status also, and we will write here load mode status underscore load mode status. We will initialize with load mode status dot stable. Here we have get load mode status underscore load mode status, and here we will write equal to. Then we will create a constructor here, country pagination provider. So basically this provider file will be used for dealing with our loading the data from the API and showing that data in our UI, and there also we are handling the pagination also, like when we scroll down to the bottom, then we will call again this function so that it will load more data. Set of 20 data we are loading at a time. So here the country pagination provider constructor, and we will write here underscore country model is equal to country model, and we will pass it total records 0. By default we will pass it total records 0. Then we have country list is equal to list dynamic dot empty global true. Then we will set our set loading state, and before that we have to create that, and here we will create one function that is set loading state, and we'll pass here load mode status, and we will set here load mode status is equal to this load mode status, and we will call here notify listener, and we will set this here in the constructor, and we will pass here load mode status dot initial. After that we will create one function. We will write here fetch country, fetch countries, and we will pass here page number. We will make this function as async here. Then here we will write underscore country model is equal to await, and we will call here API service dot get countries, and we will pass this page number here. Then after that we will check here if country model underscore country model underscore country model is not equal to null. Then here we will check if underscore country model dot data dot is not empty, and here we have to put the exclamation signs. That means we are getting the data from the server. Then we will add here in the country list dot add all country model hyphen dot data. Here we will put exclamation sign dot data dot data. Then we will put here exclamation sign again. That means whatever the data we are getting, we will add that data. That means if we getting first 20 record, then we will add in the list. Then we are getting another set of 20 record, that also we will add in the same list. We are not replacing the existing data, but we are just add on some more data over there. In the else condition, we will pass here underscore country list dot add all, and here we will pass empty array, and here we will set our status for set loading state, and we'll make this as a stable here, and we'll call here notify listener. So what we did here, we have created one country pagination provider file. Then we have the constructor here. Before that we have some variables, that is country model, then we have country list, then we have our load mode status variable. After that we have one function that is fetch countries, and there we are passing page number, and here we have the country model. We are just calling here API service dot get countries. We are passing here page number. Then we are checking here if the country model is not equal to null. That means we are getting the data from the server. Then here we are just checking whatever the data we are getting there. That means this data we are getting, but here also we are checking if inside that country model data we have that some data or not, like this way, like this is our data. Okay, so now if we pass here page number 15, okay, so now we are getting this data country model, but here in the data inside the country data we are not getting anything, but we are getting these variable data, that is country model, and inside that this is country list here. So that's why we have added that check over there. And after that we are just calling here country list dot add all, and we are just passing the data whatever we are getting from the server. In the else condition we are calling here country list dot add all, and we are just passing here empty array. After that we are just setting the state of the loading as a stable. That means we get all the records from the server, and we are making the loading as a stable here, that is no more loading. Then we are just calling here notify listener. So now let's move to the UI part, and there we will just integrate this pagination and all. So now we will create the page here for the UI, and here we will create a new folder that is pages. Inside that we will create a new page that is country underscore page dot file, and here we will make stateful widget country page. In our initialize state we will write here override void initialize state super dot initialize state. Here we will call provider of, and here we will import provider of, and here we will pass our provider file country pagination provider context listen false, because we don't have to listen to any updated value and all. We have to just call the function here that is fetch countries. Here we will write dot fetch countries, and here we will pass the page number, and before that we have to create one variable in type of underscore page is equal to 1, and we will pass here. After that, here in the build context we will write here safe area. Then we have the child here. In the child we are using a scaffold widget. Then we have the app bar. We will put here app bar title text widget countries infinite scrolling, and we'll make it as a constant here. Then we have the body here. Inside the body we are using a single child scroll view, and before that we have to create one controller also that would be used for checking the position of our page, scrolling position and all. Here we will write final scroll controller underscore controller is equal to scroll controller, and we will assign here in the controller. Here in the physics we will write here constant always scrollable scroll physics. Then we have the child here, and here we will write get countries, and we will create this function here. We will make it as a visit here, and we will put inside this class. From here we will return consumer visit. Then we have countries pagination provider. Here we have the builder, and we will write here context model child. Here we will check if model dot country list is not empty, and model dot get loading status is not equal to load more dot initial. That means we have the data in the country list, and also that loading state is not initial. Then we will show here. From here we will write return column visit. Here we have the children's here, and we will write here list view builder. Here we have shrink wrap true. Then we have our physics, and we will put a constant never scrollable physics, because we already doing that scrolling and all in our parent single child scroll view visit, and for that reason we don't need any scrolling inside our list view. Here we have the item counts, and we will write here model dot country list dot length. Then we have our item builder. Here we have context index, and from here we will return list style title. We are using a text widget, and we will pass here model dot country list, and we will pass here index dot, and here we will write name, because we have that return type as a dynamic. Inside that we are getting a name and ID, name and code, but we have to show here name, that's why we are putting here name. Here outside our condition we will write here return constant center visit. There we have child circular progress indicator. So what we did here, we are using a consumer country pagination provider. There we have builder, and then we are checking here if that country list is not empty and the status is not initial. Then we are just showing here data here, and after that in the else condition we are just showing a circular progress indicator when the data is not loaded. Now we have to go to our main.dart file, and from here we have to remove all the unnecessary code, and from here we have to remove this one also. And here we will wrap it with our multi-provider. Then here we have the child, and here in the provider we have to pass the array, and here we will write change notifier provider, create context, and we have to write a countries pagination provider. Then we have the child here, and we have to assign our country page, and here also we will change the page to country page. So now first we will run our application to see our API is working or not, we are getting the result or not. After that we will implement the pagination part over there. Let's run the application. So here we are getting the error because we have to make this as a string. We will put here 2 string. Now we will reload our application. So here you can see we are getting the countries here, but you can see here we are getting only 20 countries because we have not added any functionality for pagination till now. Now we will add the functionality for pagination. We will go to our country page. First of all, we have to go to our initialize state, and here we will write underscore scroll controller dot add listener, and here we will check here if underscore scroll controller dot offset is equal to underscore scroll controller dot position dot max scroll extent. Then we will write here, create a variable where country pagination model is equal to provider of country pagination provider context listen false. Then here we will check if country pagination model dot country list dot length is less than pagination model dot country model dot total records. Here also we will put exclamation sign. Then we will call here country model dot set loading state loading model dot loading. Then we will call here fetch countries plus plus underscore page. So what it will do, it will first check if that offset is equal to max scroll extent. That means we are bottom of the page. Then we have created one variable for our pagination provider, and there we are checking if our country list length is less than equal to total record. That means whatever the data we have received till now is less than of total record. That means there is a more data in the server. Then we have to call this one. Once we receive all the data, then we don't need to call again and again APIs. So that's why we are putting a condition, and after that we are just putting the status as it loading. That means the data is loading. Then we are calling a fetch countries, and then we are just increment the page number with plus plus. That means increment by 1. Also here we can show the loader also. We can put here visibility visit, and we will write here visible model dot get loading status is equal to load more status dot loading. There we have the child here, and here we will get a container padding. We are using a constant edge instead dot all 5. Then we have height 35, width 35. Child we are using a constant circular progress indicator. So what it will do, when we have the status loading, then it will show the loader here in the bottom of the list. But we are loading the data in our, you can say, in the local API, so that way it will not show any loading effect because the data is loading very fast. Just for showing that loader and all in our testing, we will just put here delay of around 3 or 5 seconds. Here we will wrap this function, and we will put here future dot delay duration seconds 5, and we will make this function as async here, and we will wrap all this function inside here. So this is only for the demo purpose because we have to show the loader in the demo. That's why we are doing, but it is not necessary in our production application. So now we will reload our application and see the loader is working or not. Also we will open the console here. So here you can see the first API call is gone, that is page number 1 with the page size 20. So now we will go to the bottom. You can see here this loader is loading here, and after that you can see here page number 2, and we get more data here because we did 2 or 3 times. That's why it's did one more call here in the API. So here you can see one more call is gone and we are getting more data here. You can see here. So we get till now is page number 9. So we'll go again, page 10, page number 11. Then we have our page number 13, that is page last. Now you can see here last page is 14 because we get these results. So now if we go again to the bottom, you can see there is no more API request going because we already get all the data from the server. So now it will not do any more API calls because we already get the data. And also that is not recommended to again and again calling the APIs if there is no data over there. So that's all in this video. I hope you like the video and you understand how we can implement a pagination, or you can say the infinite scrolling number Flutter application. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share. I will come back soon with another awesome video. Thank you for watching the video.